The Vorthak hunting fleet emerged from hyperspace like shadows given form, their bioships pulsing with predatory hunger. For 3 millennia, they had carved a bloody path across the galaxy, leaving entire species extinct in their wake. No civilization had ever stood against the predator king Zethmora and lived to tell the tale. The human colony of Haven's Rest appeared defenseless, a small agricultural world on the galaxy's edge, populated by fewer than 10,000 souls. Intelligence reports suggested minimal military presence, outdated defensive systems, and a population consisting mainly of farmers and their families. It should have been another routine harvest. Zethmora stood 8 feet tall, his chitinous exoskeleton bearing the ritual scars of 1,000 conquered worlds. His forearms ended in razor-sharp talons that had personally ended the lives of countless prey species leaders. The bioluminescent patterns across his carapace pulsed with anticipation as his fleet descended toward the planet's surface. The first landing pod struck the outskirts of New Geneva, the colony's primary settlement. Vorthak warriors poured out like a plague of nightmares, their weapons charging with lethal energy. They expected screams, panic, the sweet terror that made the hunt worthwhile. Instead, they found something unprecedented. The humans weren't running. Children played in the streets while adults continued their daily routines, occasionally glancing up at the alien invaders with what appeared to be curiosity. An elderly man tending his garden waved at a passing Vorthak warrior, who stood frozen in confusion. "First time seeing aliens, I suppose," the old man called out cheerfully. "Welcome to Haven's Rest. There's fresh water by the fountain if you're thirsty." The warrior's mandibles clicked in bewilderment. In 3,000 years of conquest, no prey species had ever offered refreshment to their executioners. Reports flooded back to Zethmora's command ship. The humans showed no fear, no aggression, no fight response whatsoever. They simply continued living. Some even approached the warriors with offerings of food and medical aid, noting that the long journey through space must have been exhausting. Zethmora descended personally, his honor guard flanking him as he strode through New Geneva's main thoroughfare. Surely the sight of the Predator King himself would trigger the proper terror response. He had perfected his entrance over millennia. The slow, menacing approach, the display of weapons, the exhibition of past victims' bones adorning his armor. The humans barely looked up. Then he saw her. A small human child, no more than 7 cycles old by galactic standard, sat cross-legged in the town square. She had constructed something with colorful blocks, a tower that spiraled impossibly high, defying conventional architectural logic. Her concentration was absolute, her small fingers placing each piece with careful precision. Zethmora approached, his massive form casting a shadow over her work. His honor guard flanked him, weapons ready, expecting the child to flee in terror. Instead, she looked up with bright, curious eyes. "Oh, hello," she said simply. "You're really tall. Are you here to play?" The Predator King, who had silenced the screams of entire species, found himself speechless. The child's eyes held no fear, no malice, no aggression, only genuine interest and warmth. She studied his form with the same fascination she might show a particularly interesting butterfly. "What's your name?" She continued when he didn't respond. "I'm Emma. I'm building a tower that reaches the stars. Would you like to help?" Something unprecedented happened in Zethmora's ancient mind. For the first time in 3 millennia, he truly saw his prey, not as a resource to be harvested or a challenge to be conquered, but as a being with inherent worth. The child's innocence wasn't weakness, it was strength so pure it shattered his worldview. She held up a bright blue block. "This one needs to go way up there, but I'm not tall enough. Could you help me?" The Predator King, destroyer of civilizations, reached down with a trembling talon and accepted the small block. As he carefully placed it atop the impossible tower, something fundamental shifted in the universe's balance. The other warriors watched in stunned silence as their king knelt beside the human child, studying her creation with newfound wonder. "It's beautiful," he whispered in his native tongue, then repeated it in broken galactic standard. "Beautiful," Emma beamed. "Thank you. My daddy says anything is possible if you believe in it and work together. Are your friends hungry? Mommy made extra cookies today." That evening, as Haven's Rest's twin sun set on the horizon, an unprecedented sight unfolded. Vorthak warriors sat in circles with human families sharing meals and stories. Children climbed on the aliens' exoskeletons like living jungle gyms, While adults discussed farming techniques and spacecraft maintenance, Zethmora found himself beside Emma's tower, which now incorporated small Vorthak artifacts gifted by his warriors. The child had dozed against his armored leg, exhausted from a day of play and new friendships. Her parents showed no concern, they trusted completely. "We've been wrong," he spoke to his second-in-command in their native clicks and hisses. "For 3,000 years we've been wrong. My king, we thought strength meant conquest. We thought survival required domination. But look at them." He gestured toward the peaceful scene around them. "They possess something we lost long ago, the ability to see potential allies instead of enemies, to offer kindness instead of demanding submission. They're not weak. They're what we could have been." The next morning, Emma woke to find her tower completed, stretching impossibly high into the dawn sky. At its peak, a Vorthak beacon pulsed gently. Not a weapon, but a signal that would guide other lost travelers to this place of peace. Zethmora knelt before the small child one final time, his massive form bowed in genuine respect. "Thank you, little architect," he said. "You've taught an old predator that there are better ways to reach the stars." As the Vorthak fleet departed, they carried with them not plunder or slaves, but something infinitely more valuable: hope. Word spread across the galaxy of a species so uniquely powerful that they could transform apex predators into protectors with nothing more than kindness and trust. The Predator King had finally met his match, and she was 7 years old with bright eyes and an impossible tower that really did reach the stars. Humanity's greatest weapon wasn't technology or tactics. It was their unshakable belief that anyone, even ancient enemies, could choose to be better. And sometimes that belief alone was enough to change the universe.